Good morning, children. Jai Hind. Welcome back to my session on Excel. In today's session, we are going to see how to do filtering on the data as well as how to do conditional formatting. You have already learned how to do sorting. Sorting means arranging of the data either in the ascending order or in the descending order. Like if it is numbers from 1 to 10 kind of arrangement or 10 to 1 kind of an arrangement, or if it is a text, then it will be A to Z kind of an arrangement which is ascending, or Z to A kind of of an arrangement which is descending order. So in both of these scenarios, you know how to sort the data. Now coming to another typical situation where you have a large data and you need to still find out that how many of them are following certain criteria, or you want to filter out certain values out of them. You know the meaning of filter. If you are talking of your house kitchen, the filter could be for purifying your water. It's a water filter. It will take up the dirt away. Similarly, you may want to have certain things may be required as a uh, not as a throw off kind of a thing, but for a utilization, those can also act as filter. In our case, data, whether they have been filtered or they have not been unfiltered, both are equally uh, accountable. But there may be need when you need to separate them quickly and see who are the people who are doing it or what exactly is the data corresponding to. In such cases, what you have to do is you need to add a filter. Now, how do we add a filter to the data? See here, I have taken a real-time scenario for you to understand this, and there's a huge data so that you can get the real experience of how useful this filter is for us. Now, what we are doing is we are going to take up the whole data range. If you can see, there are so many data which are here. So I'm taking up all of this data together. I select it. You can refer to your page number 31, however. After collecting all these data, I click on the menu which says data. And after I click on menu data, I can go to filter. When I say filter, what happens is it adds this drop down kind of a list, drop down list kind of a thing on the first line of your data range, your first row of your data range. So the first row of the data range, instead of directly having the data, see to it that you give the column headings. When you give a column heading, that will be taken up sensibly. So I have given the column heading as date, here as class, this as name, section, score, question 1, question 2, etc., and so on. Now suppose I want to look for certain things in this particular data range. Now what exactly am I looking for? I may want to see who have scored less than 10, or I would like to see for a particular answer. Now let's see, I want to see how many of them have answered me this particular question right. I know the answer to this particular question is ring. So I want to see how many of them have written ring. If we have 1000 records, searching for one by one becomes difficult. First I have to search like this, then I have to see who is the person who has written it. So what I can do is, it's going to be very time consuming and tedious job for me if there are thousands. Right now I have 35 from one section, so it's okay. Now how are we going to work with this? I'm going to click on this drop down button. I'll deselect. By default, it is going to show me that all the things are selected. Why? Because all the things are there in the data range. Now I'm going to select only the answer which I am looking for. And I am right now looking for a word called ring. So I select all, I deselect it. When I unselect or deselect it, everything has been removed. Now you can give your choice. I want ring, so I say ring. As soon as I click on ring and I close this button, if you can see at the bottom, you can read there are 35 records altogether. Can you all see this at the bottom? in the status bar. 33 records were there altogether. Out of the 33 records, we have 20 records who have told the right answer. These are the 20 people who have given me the right answer for this particular question. Now, who are the people? I can always refer to the names here. You're getting that? I may want to see, now I may want to see how many of them have scored a 20 on 20. So first I deselect it again because I want all the answers. I want to check for all the 33 people whether any of those have got a 20 on 20 or not. So I deselect it again and I close this. Now I am looking for the score. So I go to the score column. This is my score column. All the scores are available here. So I click on this. I deselect this. Then I say who scored 20. There are only two names who have scored 20. 20 upon 20. So I can get the range like this. I can again change my range by clicking deselecting all again, and maybe 19 also. I want to see how many have scored 19. There are 7 of them who have scored 19. Can you see the status bar down? This is your 7 of them who have scored 19 on 20. 2 of them 20 on 20, 9 of them, 7 of them 19 on 20. So it's becoming very easy for me to analyze things. Now I would like to get back and see something else, let's say. So I need the whole data back. I have taken it. Now assuming I want to see the date and time, I'm seeing that there is something called by WhatsApp. Some children have given me by WhatsApp. So out of so many 900 students, let's say, I want to see how many have given me by WhatsApp. So I have to go to this particular column because this is the place where I'm not giving the time and date and time stamp but written by WhatsApp. So what I do, I just pick this up from the drop down, I deselect it and then check by WhatsApp. By WhatsApp, I have got one single student who has sent me. With that name, I can see how much the person has scored because I have done a manual correction. I wouldn't have all these values here. Okay, so this is how you can do a filtering. This is your filter. Try to do it, take a little larger data and then start working on it. If you want a ready-made data, I can send a ready-made file for you. Sit and work with this. Try out as many options as you can because typing in data is a time-consuming job and you may feel that it's getting little tedious and boring for us to type so many details. So I'll send a ready-made table for you. Apply the rules, do a little bit of experimenting, pick up different value ranges and try working on various filter options. Okay, you want to see one more? I can show you one more for that matter. Okay. Okay, I know a particular person's name and I want to search for that particular name only. Then also I can go to the name range and then do it. So I'm saying click on this range, so name, filter, deselect everyone, and you are particularly looking for one person whose value you want to search for. You can just pick up one of those names and work on it. Let's say I want to do it for Soumi Mittal. So I can check how much Soumi Mittal has scored. Okay, so that ways you can easily filter out the values. These are not the original values. I have done it for the data structure is the right one, but the scores may be different. Okay, so score is 11. It is showing not necessarily the person is having 11. So having said that, this concludes with the filter part. Now let's see how we are going to do a conditional formatting. Conditional formatting is even more what you say, exciting about when you're sorting your data. Now let's see what happens in a conditional formatting. Before we go to the conditional formatting, these filters, these drop boxes which are there against the columns should be removed. So how do we remove them? What I do is I go back to the filter and click it. Once I click, all these drop box have gone. If I again click it, it will take again and come back. Again it is gone. This is your toggle on off kind of a switch, toggle switch. Okay, so now I don't want, I have removed them. Now what exactly is conditional formatting? For conditional formatting, like how we were looking in data in the menu, now we are going to go back home. In the home menu, we have something called conditional formatting. If you can see here, this is your conditional formatting. In conditional formatting, again we need to choose the range. So I'm choosing the data range. Okay, I'm not choosing it that way. I'm going to choose it accordingly. Now the same thing I want to see. If there's a answers, those who have answered me as bus and not as ring are the wrong answers. Or maybe ring and bus, there could be a third option also somebody has written. So I don't want those who have written me a wrong answer. I want to only color it up those who have written a right answer to me. So in order to color it up, how do? I don't can't say this and then say fill color, ये करेक्ट हो गया, fill color करेक्ट हो गया, because I want to do that. So how am I going to do it? I'm not going to take any of these options because the data can be as large as anything else. So what I do is I'm going to take it as a conditional formatting. And when I do conditional formatting, I just take this particular column. I'm trying to work on this particular column. So I've selected this column and I say conditional formatting. In this conditional formatting, you have so many various things. For your level, just take up one single thing, highlighting cell rules we are taking, and I'm saying I want highlighting cell rules, value will be equal to. When I say value will be equal to, it is asking what value do you want. I want the value should be rain. And what is the color you want, it is asking. I can fill it with, let's say, green with dark green, this kind. Okay, I'm fond of green, so I'm taking up green. Now when I say okay, see what happens. All the wrong answers are not having any color. All the correct answers are having the color green. So this way it can highlight to you on the monitor that these are the right answers and you can go for a conditioning. You can also go for a conditioning where you want to show up who scored the least or who has scored the most. For that again you can click on this, go to conditional formatting and then say you may want to see a range itself completely. So you may say between. The cell value is between 15 and 20. When I'm saying if it is between 15 and 20, it has to show me all the values which are between 15 and 20. Now, what color do you wish to give? I may wish to give again the same, green with green. And I say, or I may want to give something else. So these are the names of the people who have scored between 15 and 20 inclusive. That means 50 is also included in this coloring and 20 is also included in the coloring. Not just 16, 17, 18, 19, but the upper and lower ranges also constitutes that part. This is about your conditional formatting. So in maybe in a day or two, I'm going to send you data range in the Excel sheet. Download that sheet and then work with the filters and conditional formatting. In your Zoom class, you can ask me any questions which you are not able to do it or not able to solve it, and then we'll conclude with this chapter. Thank you everyone. Jai Hind. Have a nice day.